and welcome back to Ghost Stories, the podcast that shines a spotlight on the incredible individuals of Kaukauna High School, the home of the Galloping Ghosts. I'm your host, proud principal, Aaron Herm. More and more, I've been seeing people resharing social media posts of people complaining or lamenting about their school experience. Like one of my favorites is one that says, how come we learned how to square dance, but not how to do our taxes in school? Right. And the idea is that those people feel like school did not prepare them for the challenges that they were going to face in life. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not what's happening at Kaukauna High School. And I'm excited to share with you about our brand new Business Incubator class, where students are not just sitting in desks taking notes. They're out in the world solving real problems and developing actual businesses. They're making cold calls, they're conducting market research, they're meeting with local entrepreneurs, and they're learning what it takes to build a brand from the ground up. They're not just studying marketing concepts, they're actually applying them. And they're not hearing about the importance of networking, they're actually shaking hands with business leaders and building connections that are going to extend beyond the time that they graduate from our school. So I sat down with Mr. Rob VanderHeiden, one of our business teachers and the teacher behind the new Business Incubator class, Sydney Hummell, a local business owner and mentor, and three of our students, Kyle Kress, Sam Weber, and Logan Arft, who are in the thick of it, turning their ideas into business plans and learning more skills than they might have ever expected. So we're going to talk about the skills they're gaining, the mistakes they've had to work through, and what it really means to take ownership of their learning. So if you've ever wondered if today's students are actually being prepared for their life beyond high school, this episode is going to open your eyes. Enjoy the interview. All right, who am I here with?
Mr. VanderHeiden.
Sydney Hummell.
Sam Weber.
Logan Arft.
And Kyle Kress.
Thanks for being here, guys. I'm really excited to talk to you about the Business Incubator class. So Mr. VanderHeiden, you're the teacher. Sydney, you tell us more about yourself.
I own Wellness 360 Health and Beauty Studio just up the road here in Kaukauna. So we're a full service medical day spa.
Awesome. And you've been a mentor to
the incubator program now. I've been a part of it at Kimberly High School since it started about 3 years ago.
Okay, we don't speak of them, but go ahead.
That's extremely fair. I understand. I was really excited when Kaukauna brought it in. When Kimberly had it, I was happy to be a part of it. But since I graduated from Kaukauna, I really, really wanted to be here as much as possible with helping in the community. So I was excited when you guys finally brought it in. So I have been working with the class for this semester, and it's been awesome.
That's awesome. And then Sam, Logan, Kyle, you three are students in the inaugural Business Incubator class, right?
Yep. Correct.
All right. Excellent. So Mr. VanderHeiden, first question for you. What is this class? How did it get started? Just give us the overview.
All right. This is a class that allows students to take some sort of business idea and build it, develop it, grow it into a fully functioning business that they could at some point potentially operate. And the idea behind this is, for years we have all these classes in accounting or leadership or management, marketing, and those things just kind of grow in a silo, and we just continue to build off of those things individually, and we might twine them here and there. This incubator course was an opportunity to take all of those silos and turn it into a fully functioning farm.
So when you compare this class to our typical business class in the department, what are the key, talk more about the key differences?
Well, I think, I'd like to think that in business, we are hands-on across the board, to begin with. There's not many classes where we're teaching out of a book. Everything is hands-on, kids are engaged, we're working on projects. And so this isn't much different. It just allows them to tap into all of those separate areas and combine them all together to see how business actually ties in with marketing in that entrepreneurial process.
So what I'm kind of hearing you say is putting those things together, does that mean the students walk away with a business plan and an entrepreneurial idea?
I think the students walk away with several things. Obviously, they have a business plan. They're going to pitch this back to a panel of entrepreneurs that are going to kind of break their idea apart, give them advice, help them grow this idea. They have an opportunity to win some money to seed this thing. But they also walk away with, things that we don't necessarily think of. They're walking away with experience. They're walking away with a network that they've grown from business members of the community, of the chamber. They're walking away with a bunch of knowledge from coaches that have come in to share their experience. So it's not just a grade that they're walking away with. It's a lot of other things that maybe we can't quantify.
What are you guys working on right now? Can we just kind of go around the table? Maybe Kyle first. Like, what are you working on?
Our business is an entertainment spot that offers a venue specialized for weddings, and the venue is more modernized than your old rustic barn.
So me and Sam and two other people, Gavin and Savannah, we have a shoe deodorizing foot powder. We market towards women more. That's kind of our catch because that's not really a huge market. So that's what we kind of lean towards so that we get that certain demographic that nobody else is really reaching right now.
All right, those are cool ideas. So as you've gone through this process and have taken this class, what's been the most exciting or surprising part for you?
I guess for me, the most surprising is just how much freedom we have. We get a lot of work time to just work with our group. So I would just say the freedom is very surprising and kind of unique, which makes it a really fun class to take.
It is neat to have that freedom, right? And you're definitely going to have that freedom as an entrepreneur, but then how do you make the most of that time? So with that freedom, with great freedom comes great responsibility. So what does that look like for you guys?
When we were doing our problem interviews, for example, we planned out each day, we had calls with all these different businesses like Shields, Runaway Shoes, all these different businesses. We called them ahead of time and we scheduled them out on a calendar. And so each day we'd have different appointments with Shields at 9:40 or something. We'd be at Shields and we're interviewing them, talking over stuff. And then the next day we have Runaway at 10 o'clock. So we're going places and we're talking to business owners and potential customers about what their problems are. And that's planned ahead of time.
And there's a certain amount of work that has to get done. And so there is a pressure that if we don't do that work today, it's got to get done tomorrow. And if it's not done during the class period or during the flex period, it's got to be done after school or on the weekend. And so it really forces every single group to really maximize the amount of time that they have and really start to understand that if we don't use this time the way it's structured, then we have to give up some of our own time. And most groups, in addition to that class time, are giving up additional time to begin with. But they find out very, very quickly that if they can utilize that class time or the time that they're given, the little bit of time that they're given to leave, to set up those interviews or meet with those mentors, they realize they have to utilize it. Otherwise, they're using more of their own time.
Sydney, I want to turn to you a little bit. So I think one of the cool things about this class is that each of you, it sounds like, has a mentor that's a community partner, and Sydney, you're one of them.
Yep.
So can you talk about that experience for you and your role and what that's been like?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, this is the first trimester that we've had it at Kaukauna, but I've done it in the past in other districts. And I will also say one thing I think is really, really cool about the way that it's being ran here is it's very small business focused. So I feel like it's so much more tangible for the students to do it outside of the classroom and make it something bigger if they want to when they're done, versus other programs I've worked with in the past. It's a lot more kind of big business focused. And so there has been times where students have been able to make it an actual business concept and have been able to take it beyond the classroom. But I think it's a little bit harder and a little bit less tangible versus the way that he set it up has been, it was it was part of where I was so excited once I came in for my first day, was it just was so realistic and it's so possible for the students to take it beyond it, which I think is really special. But so I have sat in multiple different roles with Incubator. So with Kaukauna, I am a mentor, which means I come in a handful of times a month, and then I regularly talk with the students throughout their days and help them to just further develop their business concept, name, design, overall plan, the marketing, figuring out what does and doesn't make sense, maybe provide them some insight that they're not already thinking of, or potential ways that they can market that they're not thinking of, amongst a ton of other things. I've also in previous programs done the judging piece of things. So with another district right now that has incubator, I am one of the like preliminary judges. So I get to go into it like 2 different times before the big judging competition and get to decide like those final 3 groups that are going to be in that final one. So it's cool to get into it from all of the different angles, but I really love being a mentor because I just like to get to work hands-on with the students and get to be part of that experience with them. I'm really fortunate I have a lot of flexibility in my schedule, and so I like to be able to use it for things like this. But Kaukana's been really fun to work with. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was kind of going to lead into my next question. So as you've worked with our students, is there any like standout moments or things that have happened where students have really impressed you?
So we are doing something kind of unique with myself and another mentor, Annie. There's 2 groups that both rated Annie and I as their like top 2 for who they wanted as mentors. So we're kind of just sharing those 2 groups with each other. We felt like we could both be a benefit to each of them. And so when he asked if we would do it, I was absolutely. And so one of the groups, they're just kind of taking their time. They're not really, I don't think they found their like passion for it quite yet. And I met with them like last week and I was like, guys, we can't be the duds. We can't do this. We cannot be the losers of this. We've got to win this if we're putting effort. Like if I'm putting time in, you got to put time in. We've got to make it happen. And it was really cool because by the end of the class, like the amount of work they had gotten done after we just kind of had that little like kind of lighthearted but serious chit chat about it. I feel like it had them a little bit excited. I'll be curious to meet with them again and see if the excitement has stayed. But it seemed like we got a lot done in that time, which was really cool. And then the other group that I've been working with, they're digitizing photos for people, and then they're also creating slideshows. And one of the group members, Olivia, she is just extremely driven. She's really smart. She's got a lot of ideas, and she's just really willing to put herself out there. So it's been really cool just to watch her ideas kind of change and transform. And then the 2 boys that she works alongside, they're just very like, you know what, if OP says to do it, I guess we'll do it kind of thing, which I think is great too. And they're great moral support for her. And they if she says, hey, this is what we're doing, they run with it, which I think it's fun to watch.
So, when we think of this class, they're all kind of finding their role inside of the team as well and kind of developing their own personal skills as well. So the biggest thing I've heard, Kyle talk about or Sam talk about or Logan say, hey, we have to make phone calls and we have to set up these meetings and we have to go and meet with these people and look them in the eyes and shake their hand and carry on a conversation. Those are all skills that I don't know that a lot of students have entering the class, but exiting the class, they definitely have those skills. And to see that development throughout the course of 2 trimesters, it's kind of awesome to see, just that development. Not only from an entrepreneurial standpoint, but just from a soft skill standpoint, that these people, because they have these skills, they're going to be successful regardless of what they do.
And I think one of the things I've noticed here in my first year as principal of Kaukauna High School is, well, okay, if you go on social media, I feel like you see posts all the time where people are like, oh, I wish somebody would have taught me how to do taxes instead of square dance, right, when I was in school. And when I look around our building, I think that's an outdated, vision of what school is, right? I do see our kids, and this is a prime example, getting those skills that they need to be able to interact successfully and lead beyond high school. And this is just a great example, which is part of the reason I wanted to showcase it. So Mr. VanderHeiden, where do you see, this is the first trimester of it going, have you thought about where do you see this going in the future?
I can see this just continuing to grow. And right now, there's a lot of, we know what we know what we don't know, and just kind of getting over the obstacles of figuring out how do we deal with the things that we don't know yet, right? And so as this grows and how we're dealing with different situations or adversity or different groups and conflict resolution and things like that, I can see this just becoming more popular among students. Maybe instead of working with one mentor, maybe they're working with 2 mentors. And now they have a whole village of people that are kind of shooting them down the funnel towards this development process. But to get more of the community involved, to get more of the business community involved, and to share those success stories that we're having, it would be nice 5 years down the road to see a group like Sam's or Kyle's come back and say, hey, this is what we did in high school, and this is how it relates to what we're doing now. And you know what? I learned a lot of skills, and maybe it's not the business idea that we came up with when I was a senior, but we built a different business. And I got those skills in that classroom going through this experience. And it was uncomfortable at first, right? I mean, I think I look around this room, most people are like, what? I got to make a phone call? What? I gotta set up an interview? What? I have to ask questions? Holy cats, I got to carry on a conversation with somebody I don't know. Like I said, I think those skills are going to lead these people down a path that kind of puts them out of their comfort zone and helps them grow individually, and maybe they can take on a leadership role inside of a company that maybe they build themselves.
So can I ask you guys, Mr. VanderHeiden just talked a lot about skills. What is a skill that you feel like you've really developed by taking this class so far, and how do you see using that skill in the future?
So one thing that people don't really think about a lot is like when you don't know something, when you don't have a skill, it's being able to talk to somebody who does. And in this class, we've learned a lot from other people. Like, who do I talk to about marketing? Like for us, for example, we're trying to now market towards women more. And the reason we're doing that is because of our mentor, because she is a good resource for that. Like her company markets towards women, of course. And so we're learning how to just contact different people who know these skills, and we can learn from them. And like we went through some stuff with her, like we were trying to market our business through like TikTok and social marketing. Like we were trying to do that. And she had the idea of reaching out to a student in our class who's also in this class about learning how to film because he's really good at it, and just reaching out to different people who know skills that you want to know.
Logan, how about you?
I would say being able to adapt to like different situations, because from our group, we've had to pivot twice already, like between a different business or like the name change, all that type of stuff. So being able to adapt is a huge part, and I think that's a skill that our group has learned pretty well because, you take that step back, how are you going to keep moving forward from there?
Awesome. Kyle?
I think a life skill that I learned throughout this, and just like a business skill, is just like leadership role. We have a lot of arguments throughout our group, and one of the roles I think I've taken was the leadership role of calming everyone down in our group and just kind of making sure everyone's calm and the sun will rise the next day, and let's just take a breath.
So Sydney, as you hear these students talk about the skills that they're gaining and you've been involved in this process, I know that you're actually a graduate of Kaukauna High School. Like, how does that make you feel? Like, what's changed since your experience here?
Yeah, it's super cool. So I graduated in 2016, and honestly, like I don't know that I took any business classes and whatever wasn't required, I didn't do it. I just didn't feel like there was a lot of opportunities then, and that was something that made me so excited when I came back here. It's changed so much, and there's so many skills that are available, and I just cannot believe like how much is at students' disposal now that just didn't exist 8 years ago when I was here even. So it's really, really cool to see the way that it can apply and just the way that it sets everybody up for so much success.
Well, I'm glad as an alumni that you're proud of it. We're definitely proud of it, proud of this program, and really excited to see where it goes, proud of the skills that you guys have gained. So as we wrap up today, I think what I would like to know from each of you as students is just what's your big takeaway, right? You've talked about your experience in the class, you've talked about maybe a skill you've gained, but what's a big takeaway you've had from this experience? Whoever wants to go first.
I would say the biggest takeaway I've taken away from this class was the commitment part of running a whole business. The leadership aspect, the commitment of if you fall behind one day, you might fall behind 2 days. The hard work that goes into it of actually finding out who your target market is, who your customer persona is, what your unique value proposition is, your branding, your marketing, all that stuff.
I guess my big takeaway would be just being able to like learn off of other people and work well in a group. Because me and Sam are part of a group of 4, which is probably the biggest one in the class right now, I think. So making sure that we're getting everyone's opinion and everybody's working well and together and working on something, and just all the gears are like going together well, smoothly, so that we can, create a good product and a business and do stuff well together. So I guess working well together, working with a team is something I took away.
That's great.
Yeah. What I took away was the adaptability, but not only adaptability, like learning the stuff that I didn't know. A lot of that comes in with like, even just today, like we talked about Google Trends and looking at how often people search for things. Like that's nothing I would have even thought about looking up, because that's important. That's how you market, because you need to look at those terms that people are looking up and make sure that you include that in your searches when people are looking for you. And just kind of the branding and like not having similar names to different people, because they'll find those other brands that are more defined first. And just there's a bunch of little things like that you don't even think about, but this class allows you to think about and forces you to think about.
All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing your experience. It's just awesome to hear about what you're learning and get kind of a peek inside the school. And Mr. VanderHeiden and Sydney, thank you for being mentors and teachers. What a great experience for the kids. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on the interview. A huge thank you to Mr. VanderHeiden for bringing this incredible program to Kaukauna High School, to Sydney Hummell for being an outstanding mentor, and to our students on the podcast, Sam, Logan, and Kyle, for sharing their experiences and giving us a glimpse into the exciting work that they're doing in the Business Incubator class. The program wouldn't be possible without the incredible support of our mentors around the community who are giving their time, expertise, and insights to our students. So I just want to take some time to list off those people so you know everybody who's wrapping around these students, helping them through this course. And I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name, but Laura Glassell from The Recyclist, Annie King from Queen of Cleaning, Sydney Hummell, who you met from Wellness 360 Health and Beauty Studio, Andrea Muhlmans from Pure Bar, Randy Tunstall from Outdoor Independence, Destiny Antuna from Bad Batch CrossFit and Fox Valley Meal Prep, TJ Vago from Winnebago Woods, Elizabeth Coonan from Illumitox, and Shannon, Diedrich, and Brianna from the Inclusion Community Center. Thank you for believing in our students, for mentoring them and helping them build the confidence and the skills to take their ideas into the world. The class has also benefited from amazing topic coaches who have shared their expertise and helped students refine ideas. So Dr. Rachel Tippins from Flow Family Chiropractic, Aaron Bear and Chris Friedrich from Bear Performance Marketing, Angela Scrubatanis from Community First Credit Union, Kelly Klussman from Unison Credit Union, Lynn Zima from Bache Engineering, Shane Rosenow from Rosenow Customs, and Alexis Hedke from Amundsen Davis Law Firm. And also a special shout out to the Sharks, who will be helping judge the students' final pitches, who are Travis Jones from the Bank of Kaukauna, Dr. Rachel Tippins from Flow Family Chiropractic, and Josh Herman from Eagle Graphics. So to everyone who has supported this class, whether it's through mentoring, coaching, judging, or just cheering on the students, thank you. The kids are getting hands-on real-world skills that they're going to carry far beyond high school, and couldn't do it without you. That's it for this month's episode of Ghost Stories. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're a local business owner who wants to get involved with the Business Incubator program, please reach out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. And as always, it's a great day to be a ghost.